Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in to my channel once again. And today we are going to be seeing how you can connect um, Supabase to Android using. We are going to use Kotlin. So make sure you have Android Studio installed, and also you have a machine that has an internet connection. So we are going to start into it together so that we see how or is this Supabase and how is it used. So again, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Yeah, for those of you who've used Firebase, so this Supabase was designed to be an alternative to the same. So it offers a wide range of functionalities because they saw it a good fit to add these features because you developing your own, again, it's very tedious. Imagine coming up with your own authentication system, your own servers maybe to store data. You see, that task is a bit tedious. So Supabase, in short, just helps you manage those particular things, and without wasting much time, I'm gonna create or I'm gonna show you how you can get started working with Firebase. So I'm gonna head to my browser and search for these Supabase. So just search for Supabase, and you can see here that the first link that does appear is the first URL, the URL supabase.com. So how do you get started? So because I've already logged in into my system, I can see that these buttons are different. But if I open the same from another browser, I can just show you. I don't know if here I'm logged in as well. Okay, as you can see here, let me just sign out. So you can see this is a bit different. So you can either choose to start a project or just sign in, or again start your project. So we're going ahead and click on start project, and here you will be prompted to log in or sign in. So if you had created an account, you are going to enter your credentials here, then sign in. But if you don't have, you don't worry, you can just sign up or use GitHub if you have one account. So after signing up, you'll be directed to such a screen where you can just click on start a project or start your project. So with me here, I had one particular project in which I had created. So for you, you're gonna create a new project. You are going to see that a particular option here to create a new project. So you can create an organization. That one just defaults to that. The project name, I can say it is actually a Supabase course. Yeah, you can just type in the name that you like. Then in the password, be sure to use this option to generate a strong password. So this is the one that you're going to use in your connections. Then you have your region. I leave that to default. Then you can create your project, and again, just wait for it to finish. So as you can see, the project now is set up. There are some things that you are going to need. So with me here, you can see there is this part for APIs. So there's a project URL and API key. So this is what you require when setting up your project or connecting to your database in Firebase or in Android Studio, sorry. So what I was saying is these are the features that Supabase has to offer. So you have database where you can store your data, and it's good to note that Supabase uses Postgres. PostgreSQL as its primary database. So you are actually creating a Postgres database, so meaning it is a SQL database because it uses rows and columns, and it supports select queries as well, or SQL queries. Only that we'll be seeing that they are a bit modified, but they are just the same concept. So we have the database where you can store your data. For authentication, this has various uses. So you might decide to configure by having signing providers. So you can use email providers in which it is enabled by default, phone, and these other methods: Apple, Azure, Figma, Facebook. It depends on the method that you want to sign in, and Google as well, and LinkedIn, and all these are just social logins. Yeah. So, but for us in this course, we are going to be using email authentication. We're going to be adding our users and actually getting to see them here from Android Studio. So apart from that, we also have storage. These are maybe it just consists of buckets in which you can upload files there, like documents, images, or any other files that you'd like to upload. Then you have edge functions. These are just functions in the that happen in the server, not via the Android app, but via the server. So maybe you might decide to have push notifications, or maybe subscriptions to emails and automatically sending in of subscriptions. Yeah, all those things you set them up here. Then you have real time. So real time is just it's like a WebSocket that enables you to view data in real time as it changes. For instance, you might be having a chat app. So if you send a message to the other client or the other person you are chatting with, you definitely require them to see that the change has been made and that there's a new message. So that is what it does. So because this course is intended to be user friendly, I'm not going to deep dive into this. I'm just giving an introduction. And we have a table editor. This is where all your tables appear. Then we have the SQL editor. Here you can run all your queries, like select. You can see the way I just told you. This supports SQL because these are the basic commands that are used in SQL or SQL. So here we have the SQL editor, in which you can use to run the SQL commands I showed you. Like for instance, you can have a command like create table. In this case, you can name these users, and then you can have some fields inside here. So I can just set up that. Then I can have a username, and then is a what type of text. Then I have phone number, and is a type of an int. So this is just a simple SQL command, and I can run this. Okay, let's just remove this first. I forgot this. So as you can see, my table has been created. So if I come over to tables, I have users added there. So that is how I create a table, and I can just insert some example user, like for instance, beautiful whatever. And so my name is Byte Crafter. That is my phone number, for instance, and save it. So that data has been added. So that is how you set up a project and create a basic table in Supabase. So the other bit is the project creation. So we are going to go ahead and create the project in Android Studio so that we see how we can connect this particular data. So you're gonna go ahead and open Android Studio on your device if you've not yet installed. You can just go on with the installation. We're searching for Android Studio inside Google, or if you have Microsoft Store, you can use it to carry out the installation. But just go ahead and just search for Android Studio. So this first link, we're going to just click on it. That is developer.android.com. And then we are going to just download Android Studio there. Select your operating system. So I can just click on download. I accept these particular terms, and I just click on download for Windows. And then, as you can see, the download will continue, and you can just install it normally. So let's get into it. So I'm going to create a new project. Then I'm going to choose an empty activity with this compose. So we are going to be using Jetpack Compose to be creating this project. Then I'm going to click on next. Then you can give this project a title. For me, I can use that. And then the others you can just leave them as here. Then create your project, and then wait for the sources to generate. That is the Gradle build to complete and your project to be set up. So I'm gonna forward the video until that time. So see you then. My project has completed building. So we are gonna go ahead and proceed connecting this to Supabase. So we've got to go ahead and come to the app folder, and then first of all we are going to install the dependencies that are required for this project to work. So the first thing that you ought to add is to add the plugin. So here we are going to add serialization plugin. So this one will just enable us to interact with the responses from the Supabase database and organize them into Supabase classes so that we can arrange them in our UI. So here we are going to have this. So we are going to have this specific plugin. So Kotlin or plugin serialization, and in this case it just accepts. You have to specify the version. In this case you can just use the version of Kotlin that you have now. So because I don't know the version of Kotlin I'm having, I'm just going to head over to this file, the libs.version.toms. It's just a catalog of my dependencies, and from here I can see my Kotlin is 2.0.21. So I'm gonna use that. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste that there. So there we have added the serialization. Then scroll down here, and we can now add Supabase dependencies here. Yeah, so we can have our Supabase dependencies over here, so that we'll be able to connect this. The first dependencies you need is the BOM. Yeah, so you're gonna write implementation, in this case a platform, the link that is io.github.com and not .com but .jan, so that you can have, in this case you don't have to get all of this, you can copy the same and you can be able to continue on the same path. So here you need the Supabase version. In this case I don't know if the latest is 0.2.26, but I can just go over to my can just search for it. So I don't know the version that is currently okay, let me just search for Supabase Kotlin SDK. I'll be able to see that version from here. Yeah, so I can see 3.26 is the one that is available, so it's 0.26. So you write that there, and then we can have implementation. Now these are the Supabase specific functions. So I can just have misspelled this. So io.github.jan telnet again. In this case, we can just add the actual Postgres. Yeah, so we can just have Postgres.kt. This just contains that logic for the database. So the other one you might need is you also need Kato. So you also need Kato for the same. So I'm gonna have Kato client Android. In this case, you can just go ahead and specify the Kato version. So for Kato version, I can just go ahead and just search for Kato. And then the first link that appears, I'm gonna click on it. And then I can see the latest release is 3.3.2. So I can have that 3.3.2. And then I'll be good to go. And then I can confirm that all my can add these two as well for the authentication and also real-time database. So we saw that Supabase offers real-time authentication and then database. The database itself is this one. So these are the ones that we are going to be specifically using for our case, and we can be good to go. And yeah, we'll definitely be good to go, and we can now sync these changes so that the changes do take effect, and we might now start testing our system. So I'm going to fast forward until it completes the sync. My Gradle configuration or build has successfully synced. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this. Then go ahead to the manifest folder. We are going to add some users permission like internet. Yeah, so I'm gonna add internet permission so that we can be able to use Kato to make the request to the backend or to the database. So that is just that for this specific file. Then after you've done that, we are going to configure our Supabase. So so over here at the top, I can just configure my Supabase. Yeah, so Supabase is equals to I'm gonna create a client, not create client but create a Supabase client. And this one accepts two types of parameters. All of them are strings. So I can just supply my parameters. So one of them is Supabase. These both are the URLs that it supports, or the parameters that it requires. So these ones, as I told you, are going to get from your database. So I am signed in, and I can click on my project, and you remember this particular part. So, but if you don't find it, you can always go to project settings, and then under the data APIs, you can be able to find. So like for instance, here there is this public key, so I can copy this. So this public key, I'm gonna paste it here. Yeah. So and then you also need the URL. So URL is just a representation of your instance. So for our case, this is our URL, as you can see here. So you just copy it, and then you're gonna paste it over there. And then here inside, you must carry on some configurations you have installed. Postgres, yeah. So and this is Postgres, not Postgres. Then you can import this, or oh sorry, this should be small install, not capital. Yeah. Then you can import this Postgres. So yeah, so by that we've configured and installed the database. You can be able to continue to the next step. So I'm gonna create a serializable data class. So I have a data class of let's say users, that because we've added our users in the to the database. So here inside, I just have a val of ID that is an int. In this case is a big int. Then I have the other thing that we are going to create is the username, or we did have in our database. If I take you back, because you have to make sure that the scheme or that serializable data class does match the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this command. So create a table, in this case users, and I have an ID. I can just have user ID is text. Then I can also have username as text as well. Then I can have phone number as an int. Then I can run this specific command so that the table gets created. So if I go here, you can see that my table is now there. So I can just go ahead and open that table, maybe add some data. So I can just click on insert. I'm gonna insert a row. User ID, I'm gonna just get something and then enter my name, and then my phone number is that, and I can just save. You have to make sure these data types that you enter here match what you defined. So you can switch between data and definition. You can see how this particular data table was created. So just set up that. So here, because you have to make sure that the names of these columns match what you've defined in your class, because I mentioned that serializable turns the responses from this database into Kotlin classes. So you have to make sure these column names do exist. So because I had a user ID, so I will just have a user ID. I don't know if the cases are okay. There is no case. So this is a text. We also have a username. Again, it's of type. Oh, I'm sorry, we are not defining in the database. So we are adding in our classes. So in classes we just have that. Then we also have the phone number as well. So again, phone number. In this case, it is an int. So you have to make sure all your column names match whatever you have here. So that is basically how you set up. So we are going to be viewing that data live here. So the other thing I need is to create a function or a composable that does that. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, then remove that. And here I'm gonna create a composable. In this case, I'm gonna call it a users list. Yeah. Then I can go ahead and declare my variables so that I go ahead and fetch my users. So here I'm gonna have users. In this case, by remember, in this case it is a mutable state. In this case, it's a list because we expect multiple users, and you have to say what list that maps to the users data class that we just created, and you will be, then here you have to add several imports, the get value and set value. So you have to make sure you do that, and then here you don't forget to add some. You have to mention it is a list of. In this case, it is a small letter. Yeah, so that be good to go. So in this case, we have you have to make sure you carry on the imports. So for this one, but I'm just going to go ahead and continue with my configuration. Here I can have my launched effect, which is a composable, has a return type of a unit. So inside here I'm gonna have that logic to fetch the users from Supabase, what we've just added. So that is what we are going to have. So here I can start a separate thread to go ahead and fetch the users. In this case, dispatchers.io. I'm gonna use the same. Yeah, so I'm opening a separate thread to fetch my users. So here I can have users, in this case being equal to Supabase, because we are going to fetch from them. Then this we are going to run a select query, but you use it using from. So you use from, and you make sure to import that. You have to supply some parameters. Where are you selecting from? Yeah, you select from a table name. In this case it was users, because that is what we had here. So we had users, and you can also add dot select. In this case, after selecting, we are going to map these. So we are going to use the code list. Yeah, and the code list is the class that we had. So whatever that is fetched from this table is going to be decoded and added to this specific class. So that's why I was telling, make sure these values here, or these variables, match your table names in the specific table. So after you created your launch effect, we are gonna go ahead and have a lazy column that will display all our results from the database. So in this case it's users, and then I can also have my key, which is map each user to a lambda function of user dot user ID, just like we did have before. So you have to make sure again you use these. So make sure to use the same. So I'm gonna use because here we had a user ID. I'm gonna use that, and yeah. So you can just set up that. Then these items also, it also requires another parameter. So you can have a user being mapped to in this case a text, and we can have these as a user dot username. Yeah. So then we can have color, which is equals to color dot black. And then for this specific link to work, you have to add an import, that is import Android X. You have to add dot foundation dot lazy dot items. Yeah, so for this specific feature to work, so as you can see, it is worked very well. So because I created that composable to fetch that user, so I'm gonna go ahead and call that function here, and then I can just say modify. I can pass a modifier there, which is inner padding. So because everything is set up, I can just go ahead and run my program and see if it fetches our user. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and add another user, so with another ID, maybe Supabase, then a phone number, and I can add the same. So we have two users from our database. So I'm gonna wait for the Gradle to finish building so that our project starts. So I'm gonna forward the video until then. Yeah, so my project has run very well. So as you can see here are my users, the ones that we had in these two users, but I can maybe view the whole object by just having a row, and I can just have, because in this case items just supports one element. So you can just, if you want multiple, you can just nest them inside the row. Then here you can just have that. Then you can just have the other thing. So we have user ID. Yeah. Then we also have the phone number. So because it is an integer, you have to add .toString. So here I can have username. You can have that. So because this is an object, I can just maybe I can just copy the same, or just okay, this user ID. Then here I have the username. In this case, it's user.username. So I can just pass the full username object here, and then I can just have phone number. In this case, it is a user.phone number. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pass that. So because it's this full object, and just have that. Then I don't forget to close this, and I remove that, then close that, and then I can maybe say modifier, which is equals to modifier. We need to push this down a little bit, so I can have top of 50.dp, push that content below. So for that I can refresh my project and wait for the finish, because Supabase it isn't yet supported for live edit, so you cannot track the changes in real time here as you could. So you have to manually refresh the same again. So I'm gonna wait for the build to finish. So see, the app is terminating and starting. So we are gonna get the whole object for that specific user. Yeah. So now we've confirmed that Supabase is indeed working, as you've seen, because this data that is in our database is the one that is added here. So you can see here my user ID, my username, and phone number. They are all added in one specific row. But maybe I might decide to do this inside a column, maybe to make it look a bit more better. But again, you have to refresh that. So my build has completed. You can view those changes in real time again. Yeah, as you can see, they are well aligned, so it's still good to add the same. And yeah, maybe you can decide to have multiple users, maybe through a CSV file. So I'm gonna pause the video until I have a CSV file that you can import multiple records here. So let me just create that CSV, and we'll be good to continue. So with me here I have a sample CSV in which let me just remove this. So just to guide me to because of the data. So I have with me 100 records. So I'm gonna go ahead and file, download these as a CSV. Then I can save it in my downloads. Then I can just go ahead to Supabase and um, so I'm in. So I'm gonna go ahead to my database and go ahead to my so we created the users in the okay. Let us switch that to that project. So we created the table in this specific project. Then we had some 2 users. So again, I can import from CSV. So I can upload it. So just click on upload that CSV. Then I can just choose that data that I've just imported. So here it is, and then I can just okay, I'm getting an issue or because of this data type. I need to modify it because it's an integer that we had. Yeah, so I'm gonna use that formula and drag these way below. So let me just say those are my okay. Let me just be a bit specific and say 07 00 1 2 3 and 1, so that all these do change. I don't know if that specific limit will qualify, but to just be sure, we can just use a shorter number of zeros like that, and we do export the same. So now it should be good. So let me just browse the same, and now hopefully we can import the data, and now the data is successfully imported. So going back to our project, we can refresh this and get to see the new data that has been added. So as you can see, we have our data there, and maybe we can just have a divider here, maybe to just make it look a bit, maybe let's say 10.dp. In this case, this should be supplied as an argument of modifier. Then you have to import this. These are composable. So and this is so we might use horizontal divider is as an equivalent of the same to just add some lines here. So I can just refresh this so that you may be able to see the data that the database has. Yeah, so you can see Oh, we forgot the height, sorry, not the width. Should be height. And then we fill the maximum width that is available. So again, I have to restart this. So as you can see, the data is added successfully. So we've just set up Supabase and used some data and added some data here and viewed it in real time. So we are going to continue to the next bit or the next part, and that is I've showed you how to create a project, and now we are going to the second part, that is user authentication. So see you there, and thank you for watching this particular module.